It never fails to happen, and it's almost always just before your shift ends. Something always goes missing, and it's usually really big or insanely small. It's a winner take all to find it, except the winners are losers, and the losers get to stay late. This is Raiders of the Lost Tool.
Yeah, it never fails. It's always the smallest thing, and it's always in the worst location or the easiest location that you looked 100 times. It's like when you go into your house and you go into your room, you're like, hey, honey, I can't find the specific thing in our room. She's like, did you look for it? And you say, yeah. And then she goes to look for it and you start that sweat, because you know she's going to find it right away.
I know, right? You know, a matter of fact, that's like your spouse in general, like, babe, I can't find this. And it's like, it's right there. I'm like, where's there? And you're literally looking in the same place. And then she comes and finds it in like 30 seconds. Like,
yeah, it's right there in the middle of the bed. And you're like, God damn it.
It got me. Dang it, you got me. All right.
I'm like, the kids must have hit it.
Right. No, I'm under this impression that I know where everything is, except when my spouse moves it. When it moves it, it turns into this pocket dimension. It disappears until they.
Yeah. So just like maintenance, right? You're working on aircraft, whatever, with another group of people, and you have your specific set of ways, right? You have your FOD bags, you have your parts bags, you have a way you organize yourself as you're doing a job, and then you get somebody else with their dick beaters coming in going, hey, let me give you a hand. I need something to charge too. So they come in, and then you're like, cool, man. Well, I'm going to go hit the head real quick. I'll be right back. And you come back 10 minutes later, and you're like, what? We're like, hey, we're missing some parts. You're like, how the fuck are we missing some parts? I know where I put everything. Oh, well, I mixed these two bags together and this and that. And you're like, why would you do that? Well, I needed an extra FOD bag and I didn't feel like walking back to the hangar. Get the fuck out of here. Like, God damn, now we're searching for shit, Sorry if I'm cursing too much, but that's literally how it goes. And
no, you're absolutely right. And for those listeners that don't understand, when it comes to aviation or aviation maintenance, when you lose something, ain't nobody going home until you find it. Nobody going home.
Except for the person that lost it, because they magically have a doctor's appointment or shit to do with their kids, and like, oh guys, I'm real sorry, but I just got a thing, and bye. Every time.
Every single time. And the worst part is it's always in the most inconvenient time. Always, never ever fails. It's always so. I'm working. I done, I don't know, a 12-hour job, 18-hour job, depending on what company you're with, man. Sometimes you go 20-hour jobs, or especially if you're on the road, you got to drive to your site, and your home or your hotel or whatever is 30, 45, sometimes 2 hours away. God forbid, right? And then you're tired, you're exhausted, and then here comes Schmo, so all of a sudden loses a 2-inch wrench. How do you lose a 2-inch wrench? First of all, how do you lose? It defies the laws of gravity, where things just magically fall up or disappear into Narnia or something like that. And then
you were working on the bottom side of the engine. How the hell did it end up in the pylon for the engine? The fuck is that? You were working literally below the area where the wrench was at. Kind of Hogwarts shit is this?
Right. So true story, right? I was working on a helicopter, right, and we had to adjust the main rotor blades so it can actually get on track and balance. And this is like a 1.5-inch wrench, right? I don't know how the heck it happened. The wrench was on the floor the last time I saw it. And then someone comes with me, hey, I lost the wrench. First of all, how did you lose the wrench? It was on the floor. And then we're looking all over the place thinking somehow someone kicked it across the flight line or whatnot. And then we started playing stupid games as to where it's going to be. We start pulling grades. We start looking in the tires of a tow tractor or whatnot, and take a wild guess where we actually found it.
Well, what were you working on to begin with?
Oh, it was a H-1 helicopter, kind of like a Huey, for instance, right? The Vietnam style ones, the Fortunate Son State Bird.
Yeah, the one where as soon as you walk out to the aircraft, you hear John Fogerty's voice from Creedence start singing.
Absolutely. Every time. So picture this, right? So we're looking for this 1.5-inch wrench, and the one place we never thought we would ever find it, and that's exactly where it was on top of the main rotor blade.
Jesus Christ.
How?
Yeah.
How?
So we had a similar thing on a corporate jet, right? And I was explaining about you were working on the bottom side of the engine, changing a fuel. Let's say I think we were changing a fuel control, which is on the bottom side of the accessory gearbox on the left-hand engine. And same thing. We found it up in the pylon. I said, how the hell did this fall up in the pylon? But it's one of those, somebody puts it in their back pocket, not paying attention, and they climb up on top, and they're landing and doing around, and it just slid out of the pocket and pulled the freaking snake and went right down in the insane.
So, like, I'm gonna tell you something. Here we're gonna go into a section of things my nugget said. Right? All right. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, a nugget is a Marine term that stands for new guy training, NGIT, new guy in training, aka nugget. It's probably like the smartest dumb person you'll ever meet in your life, right? That's pretty much anyone that comes out of tech school immediately onto an airport or an FS MRO or whatnot.
And if you're looking in the thesaurus, see also FNG for fucking new guy.
Yes, that's exactly it. The freaking new guy, right? Anyways, so funny story, funny stuff my nugget told me. Had a guy, he lost this tool, right? God forbid. We have no idea where the heck this thing is. We looked up, down, everywhere. And it was like, well, call it a loss. We have no idea where the hell this thing is, right? And the next day, Nugget somehow crawls out of Narnia. Is like, oh, I found it. How the hell did you find it? We literally went everywhere to find this thing. Long story short, this kid had it in his pocket, right? The whole time. Washed it, threw it through the wash, everything, just right in his pocket. It didn't want to tell me, like, someone would have randomly saw the washing machine just clattering all over the place. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, you know? Throw a brick in the washing machine. Like, that sounds real weird. That sounds a little heavier than some quarters and dimes and nickels. The hell?
Yeah, it's only a wrench or whatever the heck it is he took.
But at least in the military side of things, they would make that asshole drive back to bring that part back.
Absolutely.
The civilian side, it never fails. Hey, we're missing a tool. Well, we're halfway into the next shift. It was determined lost on first shift. So how am I only finding out about it now? And who had this shit checked out? And where are we going with this? And they're like, we contacted so-and-so, and yeah, they have it in their pocket. They'll bring it back tomorrow. Or you make them suffer for it and bring it back tonight so I can continue using that piece of equipment or whatever else. No, because then we'll have to pay them. Pay them shit. They're the ones who messed up. You know what I mean? Like, God damn it. So here I am. Yeah, it's just what a pain in the ass. And then tool crib never fails. They don't relay on to the next shift that there's a piece of somebody took a toolbox key home with them. So then you come in the next day and see all the email traffic from the next shift after you going, hey, we're missing a tool. Listen, so every time.
So I kind of sort of feel for the tool crib in this, but not really. Maybe just a smidge, like a little sprinkle there, you know.
Well, maybe because maybe just a sprinkle, but because they're not the ones who actually use the tool, but they're also the ones who look through the equipment when it gets checked out and when it gets checked back in. So also there's two sets of eyes there, but oftentimes the person checks in the tool and tool crib's like, boop, right, whatever, I'm out of here.
You know, I wish Blockbuster actually did rentals like that. You know what I mean? Like I just give them the blank thing and the tape's not even there. Hey, I just got a free movie for free. You know.
Too bad it's VHS and nobody used that no more.
Right? Or even Redbox, right? You know, Redbox that's the hip new today, right? It's Redbox, right? So just.
I think even Redbox is old news now. With you got Disney streaming and you got Netflix and you got Amazon and I'm sure I'm missing something. HBO, whatever.
Like Hulu,
there's all
Hulu
sorts of shit. Anyhow,
Hulu Plus.
I digress.
Speaking of that, Hulu Plus, man, I like that service, but like it's weird because the only time I use it is during the holidays, right? And it's mostly for like parades and what have you. But then that's like the worst time of my life, man, because I'm trying to buy presents, and now on top of that, oh, by the way, here's a $120 cable bill.
Oh yeah.
You know, so we lost the tool, and we have to do the scavenger hunt. You know, it's just one of those things you just have to deal with. Everybody heckin' hates it. And it's always for something dumb, like we said. In our case, we'll say like a 1-inch wrench. That's obvious, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna find that eventually. It's always like the little, most utterly ridiculous things.
A washer, or a screw, from any piece of equipment on the aircraft. The tiniest little thing. And I don't know about you guys, but the worst place I ever found, and it was for me. It happened to me. I dropped it. I couldn't find it. We were deployed. Had to get the bird up for the mission, went and got replacement parts, just hardware, put it on, kicked the bird out, went on about my day. And I get back to my room, back to the chew that night, and I go to take off my shoes, and I've been done to untie my shoes, stuck in my laces.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. So I walked back over to the hangar. I was like, hey guys, just so you know that FOD was found, but it was in my shoe. Damn. And then you get the ass chewings and all that other stuff that comes right after that.
So, and that's like when you find it, right?
I thought you checked everywhere.
Oh, dude, bro, dude.
Well, like that SpongeBob meme where he's like, "You checked everywhere, though."
Or the other one's Patrick, like where he shows the license plate. So this is yours. Yep, sounds about right. This is your signature. Sure does. So then, this and that, like, I don't get it.
So you did check out the toolbox.
So I don't.
Yep. And so how did you not see the wrench was missing? I don't know.
That's exactly how it works out, right? Especially when you go into the reporting, right? So whenever you lose a tool, everyone has to go find it. Somebody always has to be the one to do the report, right? And that's always someone lucky guy. Sometimes it will be the guy who lost it. Sometimes it'll be the one who's in charge of the shift. And then you get the 21 questions from pretty much everybody, right? Why did you lose the tool? Why didn't you check it?
Yeah, and so when you send out the email, you have to put literally everything in there. Lost it from, let's say it is a wrench. Lost such and such size wrench from such and such toolbox number, checked out at this time by tool crib attendant C, and checked back in at this time by tool crib attendant, and was deemed all parts accounted for at that time, which determined that was a lie, but
that was a lie.
Yeah. But yeah, so then the hunt goes on, and you're like, all right, well, so then you get the shops, right? coming to us, Dwayne, right? Because we're in control. Come to us. All right, hey, we missed this. We couldn't find. We did a FOD. I'm like, did you do a FOD check of the whole area? Yeah. All right, well, I guess I got to take your word for it. Okay, fine. We have an hour and a half to find it. That goes by. Come back. All right, so what do we do next? Fill out the FOD, report form or whatever. Okay, so you'll do that? Nay, says I. You're going to do it, Jackson. You freaking lost that shit.
Right.
Well, I've never filled out one before. Well, I'm going to divert you to your on-shift supervision, and they can assist you with all questions.
Right. And that's the part I absolutely hate, especially when you work in control. Like, you're like the hub for just problems, right? No one comes in here just to see how you're doing or tell you of something positive, like, hey, I got the job done ahead of time. Like, oh my God, control of the building's on fire. Oh, God damn it.
We got it done on time, and we're able to meet the mission.
Ooh.
That's a rarity.
That's control porn for you. You know what I mean?
Yep. So then we fill out the form, and then we got to send out the email with the attached form filled out. And then it goes to all the people in the company, most of which don't need to know about it, but they, for some reason, want to be notified.
Yep.
Even though they have nothing to do with it, they're not going to resolve anything.
Right.
and then you get then QA comes down the line. Oh, what do we have here? I see we have some missing tools. Yeah, welcome to the show. Thanks for showing up today. And you get the 20 questions from them. So you're repeating yourself at least 6 times throughout this one event for a missing tool.
Oh my God, tell me about it. Even from the military standpoint, like you'd be amazed just how retarded somebody can be when it comes to losing stuff. It got so dumb that they would have to put these huge whiteboards about 15 feet by 20 feet, just huge, right? Like its own like American flag. And it's just like step by step when you lose something. Step 1, tell somebody. Or step 1, look for it. Step 2, tell somebody. Step 3, tell control. Step 4, keep looking.
Well, at least you can, at least there's that though, right? There's something for even the most new person. There's some sort of process for them to follow. our existing process where you and I are currently at is go tell control.
Yeah.
and then they'll tell you from there.
Yeah.
And then they ask us, so how do you guys know what to do? I just had to figure it out. I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together here, make it work, you know?
Right. Like stuff that everyone went to school for. I don't know.
Like, you all learned about this day one.
You know, a simple monkey can figure it out, you know, like,
which I guess brings me back to we never actually explained what FOD is.
So for those who don't know, FOD stands for 2 things. It means foreign object debris, which is your lost tools, your lost items, whatever they may be. And then there's the more severe of it is foreign object damage, right? That's after said debris gets sucked into somewhere or gets caught up in something and causes minor to significant damage on a plane, right? And FOD can be anything, and literally anything. If it's on the line and is not naturally growing there, it can turn into FOD.
Yeah, FOD could be a piece of shredded rubber from a tire laying out on the active, and as it goes by, the main tire of your aircraft kicks it up into the underside of the wing and does some structural damage to the skin or something like that.
Yep.
Could be any of that stuff.
So, and then you see some stuff like I should not have lived or 1,000 Ways to Die, where you see someone like just walking by an airplane and he gets sucked into the engine.
Did you see that on that Navy ship years ago?
Yeah,
that guy got sucked through the inlet.
Yeah.
So my cousin was on that ship at that time. Said he knew that guy. Said if it wasn't for that, everybody bitches about those cranials, but if it weren't for that cranial, I guess that guy would have his head would have been a few inches shorter.
Like worst haircut ever. Or maybe that'd be worst / best. Like it'll never grow back ever.
Yeah.
That's terrible. But I digress. But that's it. That would there be like an extreme case, right? You get some other things, you know. Some of them they're a little bit more blown out of proportion than they should, right? Like I remember this one time we lost the little rubber foot pad on a laptop. You know, like picture how small those things are, right? It's like about the size of a ball bearing, almost like a ball bearing, about the size of
the bottom mount pads on a laptop,
you know,
tiny,
and then somehow, some way, you know, the glue runs dry, or someone after banging around so much it'll come off, and that goes missing, right? And people would lose their minds over this little rubber pad, you know, like, oh, you know, if this thing is gonna crash everything, like, bro, it's a rubber pad. Chill out, you know?
Yeah, it's not going to short anything out. It's not. Nobody took it inside they might have taken it inside, depending on the airframe you're working on.
Yeah.
By the way, it's not going to short out anything electrical. And if it gets sucked into the engine, that engine's not even going to hiccup.
Right.
Especially since on some big engines, they fire freaking walnuts into it to clean it. it's like a chipmunk, you know, just there you go. that's the crap when management freaking blows stuff out of proportion. We were talking about, oh my God, it could down the whole plane.
Right.
Will it? Because I don't think so. I've watched whole birds get ingested and that engine didn't even notice. We only noticed because we were doing the post flight and noticed guts splattered all over the inside of the nacelle.
It's like, will it, Willis? Will it? Come on, Willis.
Yeah. Plane didn't even freaking miss a beat.
Didn't even tickle its stomach. Didn't even know, like, oh, that happened? You know?
Yep. So, or same thing, like if you've got an aircraft with a propeller and you suck up a rock off the runway or the taxiway that's taxiing around, and it puts a ding in the blade and people lose their minds. Oh my God, this could have been, why didn't anybody run the sweeper up and down the line? Well, you know, there's blending practices out there. That's why, you know, those things are allowed, but people lose their mind. That's because people have nothing better to focus on, to be honest with you. Yep. Just let me do my job and you do yours, you know? And
I got to knock all the guys in quality assurance, mission assurance, whatever, with flight inspectors, the ones that say like this is A-okay to fly or not, the conscience, I would say, of the maintenance field. These guys, I'd imagine them being extremely bored, where like they're the kind who can nitpick commas in a sentence, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in all honesty, right, if the line is running as it's supposed to be, right, and everybody's following their standard procedures and maintenance manuals and whatever else they're supposed to be doing, then yeah, QA's job should be pretty boring. Like they're just going to start going through documents and revving certain procedures and whatever else for new, you know what I mean? They're going to be going through SOPs, that kind of thing. But if you got a real dicked up line and they're going to be out there all day, here come the white shirts, son of a bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
right. And then, you know, so going back to the whole tools things, right? Like people tripping, right? It's not just the ones who you got to report to that trip. The ones who got to suck it up and just drive that extra or push for that extra hour and a half of their workday to help you find your fuck up.
Yeah.
You know, it's that, you know, you're going to get messed around with. You know, they're going to mess with you. They're going to, like, if and when they do find it, say, there used to be a practice I remember. They would make a necklace of whatever you found and have you wear it for the rest of the work week, you know?
nothing like trying to correct a FOD situation by making somebody wear FOD.
You know, that's counterproductive, right? But hey, the embarrassment works.
Yeah. There was another sign. I saw somebody one time that said they made them wear it was like a board on the front and back, like a piece of cardboard with two straps over top, and they would wear it over them like a poncho, and it said, "I suck."
Like those old advertisement signs, you know, like you actually wear it.
Yeah.
Nowadays they spin it, you know, like the spinning motion gets me now. Before they used to have to wear the sign.
March up and down the street ringing a bell like the Salvation Army dude at Christmas. Ding ding ding. ding. All right, so back on the original subject. So we got the FOD. We've been notified that there's FOD, right? Missing tool parts, whatever. We've notified the appropriate personnel. The emails have gone out. QA is made aware. Not depending on where you're at, they may be really involved or not at all. And that's kind of a reference to our current deal, and the not at all part. But so then if you're dealing with military vehicles at all, you're going to have another entity involved. And I don't know if we can say it, but I'm just going to say the acronym DCMA. We should be able to say that, right? Is that a negative thing there, Jeff?
I don't think so.
He's like, I don't know. He's like, I have no sticks.
So for those of you, right? So DCMA is the DoD's
QA, essentially.
QAs, right? So they're the last check in the box. Say if a company is trying to sell something to the military, right? And this can be heckin' anything. It can be trucks, it can be helmets, it can be vests, it can be trousers,
everything.
It can be airplanes, like all kinds of stuff, right? And this is where DCMA is kind of like the last check in the box, saying you guys did your job right. We the representative,
all the paperwork squared away, all the appropriate boxes have been checked, and then the military says we'll accept it, and here's your check.
Right. So they're the last ones saying good to go, and the military in turn cashes you a check to Company X saying we will buy your stuff provided you guys pass DCMA, right? And what my co-host here was saying is when you lose something or you break something, you need to have your ducks in a line, because if there's anyone that's more anal than anybody, it's freaking DCMA.
Oh yeah, and you also have to talk to them, because you got to treat every time is going to be like the first time, right? You're going to get some that are obviously more proficient, like anybody, in their job than others. But like you're going to have some that have never worked aviation ever. Like there's one guy, he came from construction side of things.
Oh, I remember someone like that.
Yeah. So you're like, so they ask a million questions, and you're starting to go, why am I explaining your job? You make thousands upon thousands more than I do. How the hell am I explaining? But then so you start asking the questions. You don't want to belittle them, right? Because they're still a government entity. But like when you start asking questions, they go, "Well, I see. I came from construction." Well, how the hell does construction play into an active flight line? I don't.
You know, big iron bird and concrete pads, same thing, right?
Yeah.
Neither of them are meant to fly, but look at where we are now.
Yeah, rebar and spars are the same thing, you know.
Absolutely. A1. Now here's one I asked for you, MVP, is from the corporate side of things, from the guys who are just like oozing money off the eyeballs. When they lose stuff, is there like an entity that just kind of puts them in check when that happens?
Typically, so in those situations, you're working on just a regular airfield, right? So you still have local FAA representatives out there that come out from the FSDO, and they'll do spot checks and things. So for every bit of FOD, I mean, if there's something active on the airfield that got damaged at the time, they'll probably come out and report it. But let's say I'm AOG and I'm working, out in Palm Springs at 3 a.m. and there's a FOD incident, or say like I drop a washer or something like that and I can't find it. The only entity I have to report to would be that whoever owns that aircraft, I notify their control. So if it's a major company that has, several hundred aircraft, I notify their control. They have their own internal documents, right? And they'll email me that. I'll fill that stuff out, what it was, part numbers from the washer and this and that. So let's say you don't know that. Now you got to do your research in the IPBs to figure out what that washer part number and all that stuff is. But you have to fill that stuff out, submit it back to them. Sign and date, put your A&P license on there. Or like if you're working for a Part 145, you put the maintenance repair station's number on there as well, because you're kind of covered under them. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you submit that back with all of your other documentation from the maintenance you performed on that to the control side of it. And they have a return to service department. Return to service department goes through all that stuff and then let you know when you're good to go and throw the books back inside the plane, lock it up, and leave. So no, there's not really, the FAA doesn't get involved on every one. It's usually only something major that happens on the airfield with a specific plane, or if they happen to spot check you at the time and you're like, oh yeah. Because sometimes they'll be watching from the shadows. They're just over there creeping, from behind the bushes. And they see you drop something, they see you look around for a minute and then go back to what you're doing. And they come over kind of with it, whistling. Hey, friend, what's up? On the ground. What was it? And you're like, please don't take my license.
They freaking FSDO ninja, you know what I mean? Just like, poof, poof. I saw you. FOD bad.
Yeah.
Divides by 0.
Yep. And in those situations, I have seen. So then they start quiz fucking you on everything. What are you working on? What's this? Can I see your work order packets? Can I see your license? Let me see the registration from the aircraft. And you got to hunt all that stuff out for them. And most of the time they don't. Not that they care too much. They're just making you sweat. Making you sweat it out a little bit. So you don't want to ever go through that again.
And then that's what goes into the Mattel games of things. Like when you lose something, you're going to get messed around with. No matter, you're going to get messed around with. Like I said, with the necklace thing, there's other stuff I've seen people do, like they'll tell them to go run laps until they've cut 500 feet of flight line or something like that,
Yep.
Or they'll make him take exhaust samples or something like that.
Yeah, exhaust samples. Go out there and stand 500 yards behind the jet during engine runs and tell me if you can taste what the exhaust tastes like. All sorts of shit.
Or fill out an ID10T form,
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Some of the gritty stuff, man, a lot of people don't see, man. And that's something that people should really learn and appreciate, is there are certain jobs, especially when it comes to aviation, man, like you think that it's just magic that just makes these things get up and go and do its thing. Same with anything really, but there's always some salty ass, disgruntled, I've done this for all my life kind of guy.
Oh yeah. No matter what you do, I've always done it better than you.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah. No matter how many times you fuck it, and then they've never messed up in their whole career. But you know what you find out is the people who have always done it better than you and have never messed up are the ones who ain't done shit. Oh. The cleanest hands, you know what I mean? Like never had any jet fuel on them in their life.
Right.
Every time.
We should do that for another episode, you know what I mean? Like white glove hands or something like that.
Yeah.
But it never heckin' fails, man. And again, man, you're working so many dang hours. You're trying to freaking find a thing. If we even do find it, right?
Yeah, if you're lucky enough to find it, yeah. Well, look, there's one time, right? I was going through the hangar. They broke the tip off of a pair of pliers. All right, so we fill out the whole FOD paperwork. It all goes out. You email, you notify everybody. Everybody gets. and it's kind of written off as like, all right, well, that's that. Couldn't find it. Then you happen to be walking through the hangar the next day, like 24 hours later, and right in the middle of the hangar, you just kind of happen to like. I was standing there talking to somebody, and I just happened to look down, and right between my feet was the tip of the pliers, and I was like, oh.
just the tip, Merle. just the tip.
Just the tip, yeah. Just the tip.
Just the tip of the screw.
Yeah, so then you turn it in, and then obviously though, if you find something, then you have to send out the email to the one you sent the day prior, notifying everybody that FOD was found in such and such a location, and they can close it out as such. But other than that, once it gets sent off, and oftentimes when you don't find whatever you lost, I don't know where those get archived. They get archived in the cosmos somewhere.
So for those who don't understand, right, how do we prevent this shit, right? How do we keep from stupidly just running a freaking muck? And how are we not just playing Raiders of the Lost Tool every single night, even though it does tend to happen, right? More times than not, okay? So almost everything in aviation is serialized, identified, etched. Something or another says this tool belongs to X and X belongs to Y, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? I'll give you an example of a etching tool control or FOD control gone bad. Is we received a Huey, a helicopter. This time it was a Cobra, right? AH-1 from another unit. And part of it is we got to do our own inspections to make sure that they didn't give us a bum plane, right? So we're doing our inspections. We see this really bad leak. I'm like, holy shit, it's leaking, right? But we couldn't find exactly where it's leaking. It's just pouring shit everywhere. We were chasing this leak for days. I want to say, like,
was it fuel? Was it fuel? Was it hydro fluid?
No, it was oil. It was oil. It was leaking oil.
Okay.
Right? So we just see like this purple shit. Just like, what the hell? Right? So we troubleshooting this oil leak for days. And then finally, when we find out where it was coming from, we decided to bring it inside. We had to pull the engine to get to the part that's leaking. And as soon as we pull the engine off, out pops this mag light, right? Like this little personal pen-sized mag light just pops right out of the engine. We're like, oh my god. Oh my god! divides with 0.
It's how black holes are formed.
Right? Divides with 0. Does not compute. Anyways, so we're like, oh my god, a flashlight, right? It's like the worst possible treasure you could ever find in your life, right? Like, I'm happy that I found it, but I'm not happy that it's here. And then,
yeah, it's one of those like, well, at least I know why this thing was leaking.
Right.
But
and
then all the follow on. Oh. So here's the funny part. When we got the mag light, the person etched their information on the flashlight, so set themselves up for failure. Gotcha, bitch.
So I mean, at least like you kind of sort of did the right thing by etching it, saying it was yours, but then that goes into a whole nother slew of personal tools on the workspace. But you see this thing that says belongs to so-and-so, contact number, blah, blah, blah. Like, well, shit. Well, case closed,
everything
everybody.
But their house. Yeah, everything but their home address.
Case closed, everybody. Yep.
Now was the guy whose flashlight was found, was he on the same location as you, or was he from a different location? Like they were downrange and fixed something downrange and then sent the bird back to you? No,
so they were actually they were on the same flight line as us, but like 2 or 3 buildings away from us, right? So here we go, like here comes the commanding officer. Pretty much every bigwig possible dials that number. Hey, so-and-so, did you know you lost a flashlight and an engine?
Did you know you lost a personal tool on my flight line?
I'm about to take your job. I'm going to take your job. Freaking straight witch hunt, right, for this person, right? And then plot twist, the person who it belonged to didn't even use it for the past 2 months, right? Mm-hmm. And they ended up finding out that the person that did lose it did belong to the person they called, but person A loaned it to person B, and then person B used the tool and then lost it in the engine.
Oh my god, even worse.
So now we got two of you.
Like just when you think it can't get any worse, the story can't get worse from there, and it just does.
The plot thickens.
And meanwhile, the commander's just like the rage, like their eyes are turning red because it just gets worse. You know what I mean?
He's like, I'm about to take your job.
Like in the Andy Griffith Show when Gomer goes to the Marines and the drill instructor just starts that head shake because he's so mad. You guys ever seen that? Before the blows his top.
The funniest ones, man, is when people get mad is they start doing like this lip vibration, you know, like their lips start quivering like
oh yeah, especially if they got a mustache, right? The mustache starts quivering a little bit.
Just like,
sir, your mustache is about to jump off your face. I don't know what to do.
like a freaking Fred Flintstone, his wig just like literally does backflips and you're like, whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Freaking. So can you imagine, man, like that you're the commander. You're saying, hey, screw up. You left your flashlight in the engine, WTF, right? And then person A goes like, no, I didn't. I let person B borrow it, and like just bring confetti.
like in that guy's mind, it's like, no, I'm totally in the clear because I lent my personal tool to this other clown, and the other clown lost it. That's when the circus music starts playing. God damn it!
God damn it! I hate all of you.
Oh man! So I got a fond story too. So I know Dwayne, you were deployed. Jeff, I don't know if you were ever deployed or if we're military at all. Or
I am not. I'm actually a production guy, so I do concerts and stuff.
Right. Oh, okay. So you're a gross and disgusting civilian like myself.
Exactly. But I can relate to a lot of these stories. You wouldn't believe how many stories I got like this on, job sites and concerts and stuff. It's great.
JT here is our freaking sound god, you know what I mean? AKA our conscience.
So that'd be good to add an otherworldly perspective. So I'll do my FOD story real quick, and we'll let him chime in and give a non-aviation. So just for a rounded story of people can say like, oh, this isn't only aviation specific, right? A FOD issue. So downrange. 6, I don't know if you guys had your aircraft fly between site to site to site, like they didn't RTB to the same or return to base to the same location every night.
Yep.
So you get those site wars going on, so to speak. Within a war, right? Yes, you have site wars going on. We're better than you. No, we're better than you. No, fuck. Anyways, so they go. So we were kind of swamped at the site that I was at with, and I was doing the scribe and or secretary at the time. So I was controlling all the books. So I had all the books for every aircraft in country at my location. And I was the one, and the guys would just email me parts cards and stuff like that. And I would fill out all the documentation, fill out the books, whatever. But I could also control what birds went kind of RTB'd where to get certain maintenance done. So we were already busy doing, we had an engine change going and like a 400 hour and all this other stuff. So I, changing fuel nozzles, a bunch of filters, a whole bunch of other stuff, some servos at the same time. So I sent some maintenance down to downrange to another location, and I get a nasty phone call like, you lazy pieces of shit, you guys don't do a fucking thing. We're doing all this down here. We had to do another engine change yesterday. Oh, boo the fuck who? Boo the fuck who? What else are you going to do while you're here? You know what I mean? You're deployed. What else are you here for? Call of Duty Black Ops, Call of Duty Zombies? I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. I like that too. But we'll get back, we'll finish that when we're done. So they send that nasty email, and then so they do a maintenance evolution, kick the bird up, send it back to us. All right. So it lands, we're post-flighting it, open up one of the side cowling side plate panels to do, quick inspection of the engine bay, make sure there's no obvious leaks or nothing like that. And you see that sun in the darkness, right? That shiny chrome flash from your flashlight that gleams off from the glow of your flashlight. What the hell is that? And you look up in there, and on the back of where the fuel filter come out of that gearbox, there was the engine truss kind of ran, along it, and there was a wire bundle that ran along that. So it's kind of a tight fit. So to get a socket in there, I mean, you had to kind of wedge it, but if you didn't forcibly take it out, it would hold itself in there between the wire bundle and the filter. So you see that, I'm like, what the fuck is, pull that shit out of there. I'm like, oh, well, what do we got here? You know what I mean? And so And so we had sent another maintenance evolution down to him, right? And I sent him another engine change that very same day prior to finding that socket. So I get a nasty email. God damn it. Another engine change? Fuck you guys. And I just responded to the email with a picture of that socket sitting against there, wedged in with the wire bundle and the filter. I'm like, hey, check toolbox such and such number. You guys missing anything? And they're like, maybe. And I sent them a picture. I was like, yeah, bitch, keep complaining. Keep complaining. I sent them a picture of Uncle Sam got your ass now.
Got your ass now. But Sarge.
They're like, please don't say anything to anybody else. I'm like, no. Well, we won't say anything. I was like, we're cool like that. I was like, we're all on the same team here. I was like, but just quit your bitching. You know what I mean? Like we're all human here, you know? So nothing was ran up the chain. Nothing was done. It was secretly sent back to the other site, you know, I guess by putting FOD into the aircraft, but wrapped up in bubble wrap and taped to the inside of a pylon. But it still made it back there, and no other issues.
I gotta ask. I gotta ask, man. Okay, so I gotta ask. What did it, or was it a 10 millimeter socket by chance?
No, it was a 5/8. No, it was a 3/4 socket.
Oh, dang it! Well, close enough.
Wasn't super small.
Close enough. It's the American equivalent of 10 millimeters, damn it. No,
yeah, I mean, you would almost expect, right? Because you always lose that 10 mil socket. But I don't think on that platform, I don't think there's anything metric on those.
Oh.
At least that I remember.
You don't get none of those anymore. That and metric crescent wrenches, you don't get those anymore.
Metric crescent wrenches, yeah. I got a left-handed and right-handed crescent wrench. All right. Let's take a note from our conscience. JT, our conscience. What you got, friend?
Oh man. Let's see. Probably the worst.
All right. So let's start out. What concert was it? And let's get all the deets here.
Well, there's certain stuff I can't say.
Oh, I gotcha.
But I was working this show. It was a larger show. And basically what happened was we have a lot of multi-tools, a lot of stagehands that use multi-tools. And
so like Leatherman?
Yeah, like
stuff?
Leatherman. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So They had set one with the knife open on top of something that was going to go in the air. And it went in the air and nobody knew. But so this is the day before the show. Everything's fine. But all of a sudden, you know, it's probably 10, 15 feet in the air and the front motor goes up. So then it slides off the back and it hits the ground. And
please tell me it stuck blade first into the floor.
It didn't, but it was not a pretty sight after that. Guy, similar to your story, had his name etched in it, and so you knew exactly who it was. I've never seen somebody get off a job site so fast in my life.
Yeah. Sir, get your shit and just get the hell out.
You fired.
Didn't even have to say anything. He said, "Cool, I'm out."
You played yourself. You fired. All right. So to tie all this things together, you know, there's going to be times where you're going to lose stuff. There's going to be times where you're just working so hard, you're tired, you're exhausted. You're
right. Not to downplay it, you know, oftentimes there's many times, you know, flight crew has crew rest periods, right? Minimum of 12 hours. But for maintainers, there's not. Actually, I think in the FARs, there is something written in the Federal Aviation Regulations about crew rest for maintainers, but nobody holds you to it. So there's many times we get it. You're exhausted. You're working, you know, 40 to 60 hours straight, sleeping in a back of a van, waiting on a part to show up. Like, I won't really even call it sleeping. You're just kind of there. You know, you're exhausted. We get it. Stuff's going to happen. So it's not just, we're not just belittling those who have lost tools because we've all done it.
Yeah. You know, and like what BP says is you're going to get tired. Shit's going to happen. Shit's always going to happen. It's when shit does happen, how you react to it is what really determines who you are and what you're going to do. And when you lose something, you know, you got to suck it up. You know, you're going to get fucked with if you did lose it. we're gonna find it, or at least try to find it, and then have to do all the follow-on steps afterwards.
Yeah, almost like a see something, say something, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, look. If you lost something, just admit to it. All right. Yeah, you're gonna get fucked with, but no, that's just part of the process, right? It's gonna happen, but it's much better than somebody finding out something you lost, i.e., like the flashlight you were talking about later on, and you didn't say shit, because it's much worse then. And especially if something super adverse had happened to that helo. Let's just say that gearbox engine seized because of that flashlight in there, and they had to auto rotate into the dirt. Like you're going to prison at that point. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know? So what's the options? Get ass chewed for about 10 minutes? I've been chewed out before. Or going to prison, you know, where ass chewing is a whole different thing.
be the test bench in the plunger factory, you know. So
yeah. So like in another place that I worked, which is on space systems, right? So walking underneath it, and I was telling you, Six, this story a few days ago, but we had a new guy, a Nugget, right, an FNG, and he was working on one of the engines, one or two, I don't remember at the time. But me and our avionics lead were walking underneath those engines, and I look down and I see 2 washers and 2 nuts that look like from the starter gen mount pad on the gearbox. And I'm like, and the cowlings are all closed up, right? Nobody's working on it actively right now. And I'm like, these look like it. So I pop open the cowlings, right, and look in there. I'm like, well, there's no missing hardware. Like, we did, me and this other guy inspected both engines, 1 and 2, the whole time, you know, for probably an hour, I guess I would say, and couldn't find anything missing. Like, God damn. So we go over and like, hey, is anybody we found these under the engine. Has anybody seen, we know people were working on this on the earlier shift. Did anybody, what were they doing? Like, oh, they had to pull off the starter gen, do an inspection, put it back together. I'm like, okay, I thought these came from that because this is what they look like to me. And so you get the one guy, the new guy come up. So I dropped all the hardware earlier because he was putting them in a shirt pocket instead of in a FOD bag, you know, and then he bent over and marbles everywhere and shit bounced. So he couldn't find a couple of them. Although I don't know how, because those 2 were directly underneath of the engine. Like, of all the places those things could have bounced to on the hangar floor. Anyways, they were right there in the engine. And I was like, well, what? Why didn't you say, like, well, I looked at the engine. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I went and got new hardware and put on there. I was like, okay, but why didn't you say something? I didn't want to get yelled at. I'm like, okay, but now I can't trust you anymore. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what else you've done on this aircraft that you've fucked up and aren't going to say anything about because, because you don't want to get yelled at. So I'm like, look, man, this shit's dangerous. You can't be fucking around like that. Like, say something. Just please say something. Yeah, you're going to get yelled at, or whatever else. 9 times out of 10, though, you're not going to get yelled at. God damn it. All right, let's all go look for it together and see if we can find this shit. If we can't, whatever, at least people are aware.
Right.
And so from that time on, right? You know, they didn't fire the guy to do anything else. But from that time on, he was never allowed to work by himself. He was never trusted again to work by himself. And ultimately, it got to the point where he just quit and left. Yeah, right, and rightfully so. But it got to the point where he was like, all right, I'm going to go do this. I'm like, no, you got to have so-and-so with you, and they're busy right now, so you just wait for them. You go support them and do whatever they need. All right, take the trash out and wait for him to finish his other job, and then he'll come support you. And they're like, I'm tired of taking the trash out. Well, this is what you get for fucking lying. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
You're an unsafe person. So, again, see something FOD related, say something.
Right. FOD bad. Absolutely.
FOD bad. Yeah, in conclusion, FOD bad.
Right. Lost tools turned into FOD. Right. So that's our tie up for everything on this one is, you know, FOD is bad. When you lose it, it's going to turn into a scavenger hunt. You're going to get messed around. It's going to be a frat party.
You might get a call sign out of it. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to get messed around with. If you're going to get a nickname some way or another, it probably won't get let down for the next 4 years to never.
Yeah, depending on what you're working, whether it's military or private, it'll be with you for a while until you change units, and even then, it probably will follow you.
Right. It's forever. You might as well tattoo it. It's forever.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Closing thoughts, BP.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed episode 1. Hope everybody learned a little bit about FOD if you didn't already know what FOD was. Hope you got some good laughs out of it. And don't be fucking up.
And you can follow us on cancelformaintenance.com. We have follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We do not have Twitter yet, but we'll work on that. Subscribe to our podcast, and you guys stay classy.
Oh, and hopefully some merch coming soon.
Coming soon. Buy our stuff.
Buy our stuff.